Welcome to the CIO Association of Canada's 3LT series, 3 Leadership Tips for CIOs. I'm Lee Rennick, the Executive Director of the CIO Association of Canada, and we're really building a series to support our CIO members in their leadership journey. Today, I'm really grateful to be joined by Michelle Murray, Director of Sales at Randstad Technologies Group. Thank you so much for joining us today, Michelle, and thank you for the support of Randstad. Hoping you might be able to just start off by introducing yourself and talk a little bit about your role at Randstad to our CIO CAN membership.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for having me today. As you mentioned, I am the Director of Sales for our RCD team for Randstad Technologies Group. For the last 22 years, I've been working with organizations and advising them on market conditions, as well as addressing their IT staffing solution needs while playing an active role in the local IT community.
Oh, that's very cool. Okay, and I was like wondering what role you actively took there, so I really appreciate that introduction. So I mentioned earlier, we are here because Randstad is very generously supporting the CIO Association of Canada and our Career Development Center. And we're really working with you collaboratively to provide information and support to our member technology leaders and CIOs. The first question is really a hot topic right now because it kind of goes both ways. So it's about the talent shortage. And here in Canada, we're seeing a really unusual market right now. We're seeing a talent shortage, and then we're seeing, people getting laid off, big tech companies doing layoffs. So there's a whole mix of things happening in the market. I have a lot of our CIOs asking us about why there's a talent shortage. Just before I went on vacation, one of our board members said, we need to do a webinar about this. So I'm really glad we're meeting today to talk about it. And they really want to know how they can build more talent in their networks. So I was hoping you could talk a little bit about this and maybe talk about some of the strategies a CIO might be able to do to build networks, both internally, like what that looks like internally, and then externally, what should a CIO be doing to build networks, to build talent in their organization?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, when it comes to the talent shortage, let me just first say there was a shortage before the pandemic. And
Right.
with the pandemic spurred the digital transformation era, which we're in today, which created increased demand in areas such as data analytics, AI, cloud, and security. And it's only going to continue. In addition, with the digital skills shortages, it only worsened with the impact of the Great Resignation.
Yeah.
So, with the level of demand, we still continue to face a lack of supply. We have limitations in immigration levels. We
Mm.
have limited new graduates in IT, and we've been faced with the retiring baby boomer generation, and they aren't done yet. It's still happening. So, the talent shortage is not going to go away anytime soon. We are still losing more than we are gaining, which is we've been faced with for years. The root of the labor crunch predates the pandemic, and we are truly in a perfect storm right now. In addition, the impact to organizations right now is much more significant. Recently, data we gathered through research, we found 75% of companies are experiencing IT project delays. What's interesting is that 21% of those companies are experiencing delays due to qualified staff shortages,
Mm.
with 6% due to internal turnover. The direct impact of this is 29% of companies are experiencing average cost overruns between 30 to 50% of their initial budget, while 36% average just under 30% of cost overruns of their initial budget as well. The impact is quite significant to all organizations. So it is very critical on how do organizations build talent internally? Well,
Mm.
CIOs and the rest of the executives need to be agile and adopt their strategies and approaches in how they engage and build their talent internally to maintain an effective workforce. They need to first understand the talent they have today and have they created a creative short and long-term strategy for skills and talent they will need for tomorrow. Is there an opportunity for them to share talent across teams across the organization to meet their project demands?
Mm.
Have they mapped a career path for their employees? Are they discussing career progression opportunities? Are they offering skills development to keep their employees engaged? Do they have a strong and compelling employer brand that their employees believe in? Are they driving their own diversity, equity, and inclusive practices within IT? In the middle of a talent shortage, we have to keep in mind the impact that it has on the bottom line, and leaders need to be looking within their teams to develop their internal strength and need to elevate their effectiveness and adjust how they are building their talent internally to deliver what they will need for the future. So, networking. It's
Yeah.
more important forever for all organizations, including Randstad. We
Hmm.
need to network externally. We need to find ways to be creative and reach the audience that everyone else is trying to reach as well that we're looking for. Does your networking activities include building better partnerships with universities? It's
Hmm.
not just about being a partner, but getting involved. Are you engaging with the upcoming graduating classes? Are you working with the professors? Are you influencing the IT curriculums? Are you building better partnerships with the new immigrant settlement agencies? Do you understand how you can engage with the talent before and once they arrive in Canada? And then find other ways to engage and be seen in the local IT community. Are you getting involved in various IT associations? Understand how you can be an active member in the community. Attend in person and online events. Well, we all do that today, but are you just attending or are you actually getting involved? Are you a moderator, moderating a discussion or participating in a panel discussion? Is there an opportunity for thought leadership, sharing your experience with the local community? Ask your employees. Find out where other like minded IT professionals learn and engage in the community. Identify new partnerships to reach untapped talent. Understand where the talent is coming from and adjust the strategy accordingly. And remember, it's not just the CIO here. Every member of the leadership team, including the IT team as well, can be part of this strategy. It's a huge opportunity to engage the employees as well as champion the employer brand.
That's amazing. I mean, I wanted to pick up my pen here and start taking notes about all the tips you gave because they're so impactful. I mean, I find one of the things that I do, and I find people are doing this more with me now too, is we may have some partnerships or we may be working with certain organizations, and it's just a touch point, keeping in touch, like actually putting in a quarterly touch point to say, okay, we're catching up now, Michelle. Let's book our touch point in 3 months. Let's make sure we regroup, talk about some of the solutions, what's happening. So I find for me, that seems to be happening a lot more within my networks, and I'm reaching out to more people to do that. It might be from a business perspective, but it might just be to network and share and maybe get connected with people who are looking for roles or looking to make a move and really understand what's
Absolutely.
happening in the market. So for me, that's super important in my role and what I do. But these are all amazing tips that you talked about. So thank you very much. And I think one of the things going back to also on the retention is the word being intentional. Like if you want to retain good talent, make sure you're intentional in your approach. All the steps you've talked about, all the things you should be looking at should probably be something you look at on a regular basis and make it part of your ongoing plan. I know Carolyn and I talked about that a few weeks ago, so I certainly appreciate this feedback. We did touch a bit on retention. Just wondering if there's any other spaces as it relates to the CIO and their team. You talked about a lot of tools around retention, but is there anything else you wanted to add around retaining talent?
Of course, there's so much to cover in this. And the one thing that I think we really need to make clear here is it's not develop a strategy and put it into action. Everyone needs to be agile and adjust and evaluate. Is today where things are at, it's going to be different 3 months from now, 6 months from now, and it's going to constantly change faster than it ever has before. But on the word of retention, so first of all, it's not a new concept, right?
Right.
So, according to a recent survey from Gartner, only 29% of IT workers have high intent in staying with their current employer, which means organizations have 71% of their IT workforce at risk.
Wow.
It's just a astonishing figure, and retention needs to remain a high priority. It just has to be. Today,
Mhm.
employee turnover is higher than it's ever been. It's taking longer to find replacements, and it's costing organizations much more than it ever did before. So, as a CIO, you need to know what your employees want and why your employees are leaving and adjust the strategy. Yes, salary is a primary factor. Research shows that while pay and benefits are still what matters most, with 93% of tech workers, through our talent research, we've identified what are, besides salary, retention factors that are key to today's IT workers and what they want. Flexibility. 59% of workers would like to have flexibility in choosing their work schedule as well as flexible time off.
Mm,
Career progression, which we've already talked about.
yeah.
Workers want access to professional training, tuition reimbursement. Employees want career progression. 41% expect a promotion within a year. Are you at,
Wow. Really?
yeah,
41%
yes,
expect a promotion in a year?
absolutely.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
This is all about expectations here. So,
Yeah.
are you actually having career conversations with your
Right.
employees? Are you able to show them the career path and actually support their progress? In addition, rewards and recognition. What are you doing? Do you
Right.
offer bonuses? Do your leaders offer personalized recognition to your top performers? Do you understand how your top performers want to be recognized? All key questions you should be asking. In addition, workplace culture.
Mm,
Equal pay for equal work.
right.
Workers want to make sure everyone is paid fairly. And financial stability. 3 out of 4 workers are looking for a stable company that they feel is trustworthy. Employees really are looking for an organization that fosters innovation, where continuous learning and career growth is a priority, where there is open communication and diversity and inclusion are key priorities as well.
Mhm. That's amazing. Wow, those are fantastic stats to share. And I think even understanding that, having the research, being able to look at it, understand that, and then make that as an active part of your own learning and your implementation with your teams would be super important. But that is stunning to hear some of those stats. I really appreciate you sharing that. Okay, so the next question I wanted to ask you about was Randstad. You just released the 2022 employer brand research. And I remember looking at the 2021 version and going, oh my God, this is fantastic. Putting my marketing hat on, of course, brands are really important to how you project your brand. And I know you did a lot of research around attraction and retention of employees, but really what part the employer brand has in the decision-making process for the talent, I think is really interesting. So we'll send the link to the report for our members to download. But in the meantime, the CEO is part of a bigger organization and a bigger brand.
First of all, once again, when it comes to employer brand, every person from the CEO down has the responsibility of owning the organization's employer brand. Organizations need to define their brand and devote time and resources to maintaining it, but not just define it, but actually champion it. You need to understand what are the important drivers employees want when they look to choose an employer. You need to ensure you are addressing those in your approach. Are you actually using your own IT employee champions within your approach? This is essential if you want to find the skilled talent your business needs. In addition, a major component is your candid experience. This needs to be a top priority for IT, not just HR, as it's every connection point throughout the process. The experience starts with articulating your culture, your benefits, your opportunities for development, innovative work, as well as outlining flexible work options within your employer brand. Defining an employee value proposition is key to marketing your roles and potential employees. Once again, continue to be agile and adjust your strategy as the market evolves. In addition, CIOs have the power to leverage technology.
Right.
This is a perfect area to build and monitor your talent attraction by using a recruitment marketing platform. You can track employer brand activities, dashboards, access to useful analytics, more efficient communication with candidates through email and other automation and candidate experience tools, better management of career sites, SEO, referrals, and talent communities and networks. And there's other technology tools that can help you with employer review sites, additional candidate experience, and social media monitoring tools. Overall, all organizations are struggling when it comes to IT. So it's going to come down to how creative and agile you are in your approach in championing your employer brand in the marketplace.
Love it. Love it. And what about the personal touch? I know a colleague of mine just recently, has accepted a new role, and just said that the personal touch from everything from her new supervisor down to colleagues that she'd be working with, they just reached out and said, you know, welcome, we're so pleased to have you. And you know, I think a lot of that is missing sometimes, and just that personal touch, working with the IT solutions you've talked about, but then actually having that personal HR touch, or you know, a touch from a colleague that you might be working with, touch point. I think those are super important components as well for any company culture.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Michelle, for joining us today. I really appreciate it. We look forward to sharing this to our members and also sharing the employer brand research report. Certainly, please let's be in touch. Let's make another touch point in a few months. Come back and talk about some of the other questions that some of our members may approach us with. Thank you so much for joining us today and for the support of Randstad Canada.
Thank you so much.